All right. Where we at? Let's go ahead and get this show on the road, party people. All right. Thank you all so much for tuning into this live stream segment of Mikasa Sukasa. And of course, as always, I'm your humble host, Niko House. Today is a show that, although is going to be filled with truth, it's also very deeply personal for me because of who is involved and what they've been involved in and how we have been involved in the past. Now, I tagged Tim on Twitter. I tagged Tim because Tim finally unblocked me. Tim unblocked me yesterday, actually. The reason that Tim unblocked me was likely to lurk on my Twitter. And since he is indeed lurking and is probably watching this video as we speak, I wanted to make sure that he knew that unlike him, I am a man. And I can tag you when I have a problem with you. I can tag you when I have a problem with something you've done. And as you know, I've had no problem picking up the call or picking up the phone to give you a call, shoot you a text if I had an issue with you. Unlike Tim, who does a lot of little boy shit. Now, it needs to be understood that once I had a lot of respect for Tim. At a time where I was trying to navigate this independent media space as a black man, Tim was somewhat of a mentor to me. Once upon a time, my family and Tim's family and the family of one of my friends all went on vacation together. That's how close we were. So when I tell you all the stuff that I'm going to share with you all by the end of this video, it doesn't make me angry as much as you would think it would. Because a lot of that stuff just makes me mad. Like when I see a lot of the things that we see happening in politics, we see a lot of the grifting that's been going on the last couple of years. That stuff usually makes me mad. But when it comes to Tim, honestly, I'm just more disappointed than anything else. And because of our past friendship, I've let a lot of things from Tim slide. A lot. And maybe I shouldn't have done that. Maybe I shouldn't have done that. Because that normally, most of you are right. I wouldn't have done that when it came to just about anybody else. But because literally our families had vacation together, I thought that, you know what? If Tim has a problem with me, he'll reach out. Right? He's an adult. But that wasn't the case. And even still, I was like, you know, I just got to be the bigger man here. I'm not going to put him on blast. I'm not going to put his family, because like, obviously, when his credibility comes into question, his show gets hurt. His family suffers from financially and monetarily. And I like his family. Our families vacation together, people. But for all that noise, we're going to get down to the real spill, since Tim Hack wants to just personally attack people. And so what we're going to do, Flying Bower, thank you very much for the super chat. TYT, Sam Cedars, and Dave Packmans are the reason I'm not progressive. Well, Flying Bower, I'm going to tell you a little something. Those people are not progressive. So let's go ahead and get that out the way. Now, with that being said, as you all know, for the 150th time that you've probably heard this, Jimmy Dore introduced a referendum that asked progressives to use the 10 to 15 progressive votes that they have that could determine the outcome of, I think it's 10 progressives, like hardcore progressives, members of the squad. 15 is the amount of the Democratic majority now. And if they withheld their votes, they could force Nancy Pelosi to give concessions to not only Medicare for all, but potentially other stuff. But specifically, we're in the middle of a pandemic, so we need Medicare for all. Now, I knew, and it's funny because I feel like I said this on my show, and I might not have. I might have said it on the phone to somebody, but I was like, I'm waiting for Tim. Because I saw Ben Dixon come out of nowhere and try to jump into this conversation with absolutely nothing constructive to put out there. Like, just nothing. Just, yeah, fuck Jimmy, man. Okay. So do you have a plan? Nah, man, Jimmy, nah. Okay. So what's your plan, though? Like, what is your alternative? We got to kiss politicians' ass and just wait. Okay, so I don't think you're understanding. The reason that we want this referendum is because we literally ain't got no more time to wait, bro. Middle of pandemic, people are dying yesterday. Not even just from the pandemic. People are getting late diagnoses on cancer and other critical illnesses. My friend is dealing with this right now. Not cancer specifically, but something that could potentially affect the rest of his life. Because his doctor is also an emergency room doctor who also gets called to the emergency room because of COVID. So he has to keep putting off his appointments with his other patients for, I mean, like that's happening right now. We need Medicare for all right now. And so instead of offering something constructive, Ben Dixon decided to just jump on Jimmy Dore personally. And given how all of a sudden, right around the time that Tim decided to become a sold out hack, him and his friend Ben were behaving in the past, I figured Tim was going to probably jump on his train as well. And he did. He did, as expected. And he had absolutely no idea what the hell he was talking about. He just came in fiery and passionate about something that no one else was actually discussing, to be real. He thought for some reason that Jimmy was like, I don't know, like telling people to like not vote for Pelosi or like, but like instead argue for a Republican or like or cancel everybody who or like vote out progressives who don't do this. Like, and I'm like, that's not anything that Jimmy was talking about in the beginning of this referendum. Like, he was very clear what he was specifically saying. We could use this as a method to either get Medicare for all or expose Republicans. Or excuse me, well, Democrats and Republicans. As the Republicans they are. Democrats as the Republicans they are. Let's go with that then. But and because if you are criminal enough, sociopathic enough to vote against Medicare for all in the middle of a pandemic, your seat is no longer safe. So you either, one, get Medicare for all, or two, get Democrats on the record voting against Medicare for all in the middle of a pandemic. I feel like that's pretty simple. So we're going to check out some of the, we can't even do all of them. It would take too damn long, and it's just a bunch of dribble for the most part. But we're going to cover some of the main tweets. And then we're going to get into this nitty gritty of Mr. Tim Black. And I'm going to tell y'all exactly why. If you trying to, like, I'm not saying don't watch the man if he has some breaking news about something that's actually worth watching, because I'm just not a fan of real, like, cancel culture in general. But, like, as far as him being principled, consistent, or, God forbid, loyal, no. And after the story that I'm going to tell y'all, once again, a deeply personal story that I have not told anybody, but since Tim wants to keep punching down, and all of a sudden he's very interested, like I said yesterday, after blocking me for about a year and some change, all of a sudden he unblocked me because after he saw what I said about Ben, I'm sure he knew he was next up on the list. And I wasn't really going to do anything. I was going to leave it alone. Once again, because out of respect for our past friendship, that I was like, I gave him exception to the general scorch the earth rule that I usually live by. But when I saw the way he personally attacked Jimmy, that was it for me. That was it. Because out of anybody, Tim Hack should not have the living audacity to personally attack anybody. So let's get to these super chats and we'll go ahead and dive in. Flying Bower, stop voting Democrats and Republicans. They are two sides of the same coin. Listen, Flying Bower out here spitting facts. Appreciate the super chat. Michael, hold up. You know him as Matt. Bro, 170 people watching right now. There's a reason for that. You are a laughing stock. Quit your gaming. Quit your grip. Huh? What is 260 people watching right now? We just started. I'm not sure. Hold up. Is that supposed to be an insult? I'm confused. Does he not know how the streaming thing works? Like 40,000. I had like 700 people watching yesterday. Or day before yesterday, I should say. I don't know what he talking about. But I do appreciate the $5. I hope that was worth it. Whatever dig you thought you were taking. I thought you were like, oh, 170 people watching already, bro. Michael Williams, thank you very much for the super chat. Why don't black progressives push for reparations first over Medicare for all? Racism in the healthcare system hasn't changed. We should push for reparations. Because, Michael, I understand your point. I generally push them together. But at the same time, you have to remember, we can get reparations all we want to. But if you get $2,000 a month for the rest of your life, if $2,100 of your income goes towards deductibles and then healthcare and then paying off the subsequent bills that you'll have because of the healthcare or the lack thereof in this country, well, the reparations don't really do us much good, does it? So we want to make sure that if you do have reparations, that you are not having those reparations like all of our other all the other value that Black Americans have accrued in this country that have only been stolen away. You don't want that to be stolen by capitalism the moment that you achieve it. You get what I'm saying? Medicare for all, or single payer healthcare in general, is one of the ways to make sure that if we finally do achieve reparations for Black Americans in this country, then it will go towards you in rebuilding the Black economy and making sure that Black dollars spent in the community, like Latino dollars like here in Miami are spent in their community, like Jewish dollars are spent in their community, like white dollars obviously are spent in their community, and Muslim dollars are spent in their community, and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. That's what you want to make sure that money is being spent on. But I do hear what you're saying. I hear what you're saying. Anyway. Let's go ahead and check out some of these godforsaken tweets, y'all. All right. Oh, actually, I want to put my face in the bottom because I want y'all to see me. So I'll put my face in the bottom first. Let's just check out let's check out the first tweet. And y'all gotta forgive me because this is usually not the prettiest setup like I normally have. Like when my wife sets it up for me, but these were sent to me because I was blocked for a while. So literally till yesterday. So just check these out with me and bear with me now. So Tim said, asking the squad to vote against Pelosi is tantamount to asking them to quit their jobs. At least admit it, be real about it. Also admit we don't have the votes to pass Medicare for all. So in the end, it's an exercise to root out faux progressives. Now, Tim deleted this tweet, and it's probably because he got ripped apart. But Jimmy, being Jimmy and having great fans like he does, somebody probably sent this to him, and he reminded Tim what he actually said, which is, hey there, here's the tweet that you deleted because it reveals you as a phony bootlicker. Nice job prioritizing politicians' careers over Medicare for all. You're done. Now, what does he mean by that? Well, one, Jimmy didn't say vote against Pelosi. That's not what he said. What he said was use your vote to threaten Pelosi so that you can get Medicare for all, or at least get it to the floor for a vote. Now, if the argument that you're making is progressives shouldn't do this, why? Because we don't have enough votes to get Medicare for all. Well, why would that be? Because the Democrats overall don't want to vote for Medicare for all because they're beholden to their corrupt lobbyists. Well, therefore, we shouldn't even try to exert pressure. Well, that's a circular and defeatist argument. And that's the point, Tim. That's the problem. You have 94 members or something to that extent, 94 give or take members of the Progressive Caucus, but y'all can't get a floor vote on Medicare for all. And even if you do get a floor vote, you're telling me a floor vote for Medicare for all won't pass, even when we know a lot of Republicans are going to be forced to vote for Medicare for all, if not because a bunch of Republicans, as multiple Fox News polls have revealed to us, do support single-payer health care. But on top of that, we're in the middle of a pandemic, and you got your fear is that, like, you won't get it passed, and then what? Like, if you brought this to a vote, because he's saying, like, this is to expose faux progressives, like, if it did come to a vote and it didn't pass, like, this is going to expose faux progressive. Well, hold the hell up. They better at least vote for it. At least AOC and Ilhan Omar and the squad and whoever wants to, the squad is 50 different people now. But at least they better vote for this. But what I think this really reveals overall is a personal issue for some reason that Tim has with Jimmy, right? Can we both agree on that? Let me explain to you why. Because I don't know what the hell Tim is talking about. That's not what Jimmy said. That wasn't Jimmy's plan. That wasn't what Jimmy discussed with Justin Jackson. That wasn't what Jimmy discussed with Katie Halper. Wasn't what Jimmy discussed on his own show. Wasn't what Jimmy discussed with Richie Medhurst. That's just not what Jimmy said. Like, He put a bunch of words that came out of Jimmy's mouth and then put them all in all kinds of weird order. And it ended up being nothing like what it actually the plan was. Okay. So there's that. And I'm trying to understand the personal issue that he could have with Jimmy, because it's not new, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going to go into that in a little bit. But clearly, it's either you're doing one of two things and both of them are wrong. You're grifting because you don't want, you're upset that Jimmy was trending number one. You feel like it should be you that's trending. You feel like it should be you that has the success that Jimmy's had. And you feel like you're the one who should be getting all the love and adoration. Or you just have a personal problem with Jimmy, which wouldn't really make any sense. Because y'all were friends and then you cut that relationship. If everyone is remembering correctly, you started attacking Jimmy in 2019, not the other way around. So both of those reasons aren't acceptable. And what makes it even worse is in his video last night, I'm not going to play it on this shit because I don't want to give him no free plays. He said, well, I don't know. I didn't even watch what he said. I didn't watch him, but this is what I'm guessing he means. What? So you telling me you did a whole, 2-hour video? A whole 2-hour video for a stance, or against the stance, I should say, that you didn't even listen to the person who originally created the stance. And then he plays a video of Crystal Ball saying exactly what Jimmy has been saying, but of course in a nice Crystal Ball way. But the exact same thing without the F-bombs. And he's like, oh, well, I guess I kind of get that. And then proceeds to continue attacking the position and belittling the stance and caping for we're gonna throw the progressives under the bus. No, that's not what we said. We're asking progressives to not throw us under the bus. That's what we're saying. Okay. So let's get to some of these super chats. We're gonna continue. The reparation, Michael Williams, thank you very much for the super chat. So the reparations I speak of is pushed by Dr. Claude Anderson. Look into the process. It's a Black Marshall Plan. We need to cut the check. I'm all about cutting the check, and I definitely will look into that. Thank you very much. Xavier Foster, Tim Black is an honest dude, just needs more guts. Wrong. And I'm gonna tell you why. Be patient, my friends. Be patient. We're gonna get to it. Chavi, no one. Niko, your fun list too while I'm drawing. Thank you for your videos and trying to get people to realize politicians aren't our friends. Of course, and I'm glad you can draw because I cannot. Well, let me tell you, I can't even make a straight line to save my damn life. Me and my wife is talking about the folding, but you know how Japanese people do origami and stuff like that. When you in elementary school, you like do all the little cool foldy stuff. All my shit was crooked, all of it. Couldn't draw a straight line, couldn't fold a straight line. They be like, just make the, when you're trying to learn symmetry, right? They're like, just fold the paper over, and I'll be like. Couldn't do it, but I appreciate it. I'm glad I can be some inspiration for you while you draw. All right, let's go ahead and get to the next one. Just another tweet. So Jimmy said that he was enjoying Tim's meltdown in real time, and let's be honest, a lot of us were enjoying Tim's meltdown yesterday, because I think his block list is like 550,000 people. More than he even has subscribed to his damn YouTube channel. Because every time somebody says something to Tim, he gets all sensitive and he gets offended. Like, you could be like, hey, man, I didn't really understand what you said. Well, man, little bitch, maybe you should fucking listen more. Oh, my God. Fucking hate you guys. Blocked. Whoa there, bro. Chill out. Nothing's that serious. But if you insult Tim, not even insult him, if you question Tim's authority on anything, then he feels like he has to block you because Tim doesn't like explaining himself. And once again, since I tagged Tim on Twitter, since Tim finally did unblock me, and I know you're going to watch this video, Tim, because I know you love looking what everybody says about you. You can come on my show or I can go on yours. It don't really matter. You can come down to Miami. You can sit in the studio with me. We can have a one-on-one conversation. But by the end of this video, I'm not sure you're going to want to do that. Because once again, there's a reason that you were talking about me and not tagging me and doing it on somebody. He first did it on somebody else's platform. And we're going to talk about that. But there's a reason you ain't tagged me. There's a reason you ain't called me. There's a reason you ain't text me. Because you know what time it is. So let's continue. Now he said that Tim, in response to this, said, I'm going live in 10 minutes and you're the topic, punk. Huh. Okay. Great, substantive, policy-centered comeback, Tim. And like I just told you all, his video was not, don't waste your time. If you want to go watch it just to verify what I'm saying, then by all means. But other than that, don't waste your time. Let's go to another tweet. So Tim made an allegation that Jimmy is an alcoholic, right? Somebody responded sarcastically, all drinks should be done before the show, ... What a dummy. Wrong. Real Tim Black said, wrong. Drinking on the job would be considered unprofessional and fucking stupid for others, not for Jimmy. Drinking on the job makes Jimmy cool, man. So let's go ahead and address that shit right now. Who here has been on the channel for more than a month? I know there's a lot of y'all who have been here for a little bit more than a month. If it was Monday, I would have a drink in my motherfucking hands right now. And I look cool in the motherfucker when I got it in my hands. I look really cool. My fine ass, beautiful wife comes over here and pulls me up a little mimosa for my Mimosa Mondays. And not a single person has ever once complained because I'm black. I understand, and we're going to get to why I said that. And I understand why Tim might feel like that. But no, that's not the case. And I'm not sure why you would think that. Because, bro, like I just said, I drink every Monday on my show. There's a whole show dedicated to drinking on the first work day of the week and talking shit while we're tipsy. In other words, not sober. Not a single time has anybody alleged I was an alcoholic. Nobody has ever said anything bad about it. If we're talking about just doing substances in general while we're on the show, Killer Mike, while on a stream with Bernie Sanders yesterday, lit up a joint in the middle of the stream. Picked that. I said, yo, is that a cigarette? That's crazy. Why he lighting a cigarette in the middle? Oh no, it's a joint. And Bernie like, oh yeah, it's cool. It's cool. Oh man, yeah, support it. Can't even say nothing. Nobody had a problem with it because there are more important things for us to be worried about. Then Tim goes on to say, because somebody said, rightfully so, a nightclub comedian has a drink sometimes? Weird. On the air during shows, I get it. It's all right because it's all white. What? Like I just said, if it was Monday, I'd have a drink in my hand right now. By 11 o'clock every Monday. Make sure I go check it out. Now, hold up. Let me make sure this Monday ain't a Christmas day. I don't know what day Christmas is. So it's Friday. Oh, no. So this Monday, so the Monday after, no, next Monday. So next Monday, we will be having Mimosa Monday. But the Monday after that, that's the day after my birthday, and I won't be able to remember what my name is. So not that Monday, but every Monday around 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, we have Mimosa Monday where you can ask me anything you want, and I'm tipsy, so I'm more than likely to answer all your questions. So, but what the, bro, what the hell? Dap the Vegan, thank you very much for the super chat. Bro, what the hell is Tim doing? Shut the fuck up and advocate for Medicare for all. It's really that simple. It's really that simple. And that's when Jimmy said, enjoying your meltdown in real time. Now, I do want to be clear about something. Now, I don't know what personal issue, like if Jimmy has a personal issue with alcoholism, like I don't know that. And if I did, that's irrelevant. If I did, I would be praying for him and showing him support. There are people that I don't like that I know have a personal issue with some type of substance abuse or a mental disorder or something to that extent. And I don't use that as an opportunity to then start personally attacking them the minute that their clout threatens mine. Because that's all this is. That's all this is, right? It's just that Tim feels like his clout is being threatened, or he feels like Jimmy's a threat, and therefore I'm going to go on personal ad hominem attack. What the fuck? What does this have to do with AOC, y'all? What does this have to do with Medicare for all? What does this have to do with the squad? And somebody brought up a good point. If you're going to say anything about Jimmy, probably be the same issue you say about me. Jimmy ain't got no problem with alcohol. We smoke the ganja. We smoke a lot of the ganja. You're going to be like, man, Jimmy a pothead. You can't, that attack falls flat though, because he called himself, a pothead comedian all the time. He kills me when he does it. He said, you gonna let a jag off pothead comedian who's probably high right now show you? I love it. That'd be the thing that you go after, but I guess that don't sound as good when he calls himself pothead. But why would you personally go after that man like that? Especially like just given everything that you have come through. I'm not going to go into that because that's his personal, but Tim has had a very difficult life growing up and also has been the recipient of a lot of personal attacks like that, where he felt like, well, I'm just trying to do my job, or I'm just trying to do the right thing. And he'd been under personal attacks where people have had to come defend him. And for him to then turn around and really unpromptly just, I'm just going to add Hammond and attack Jimmy and literally pretend like he has a problem because I can't defeat Jimmy's arguments on their merits. So I got to take the Anna Kasparian route. I got to take the Ben Dixon route. I got to take the Sam Cedar route. I got to take the route that all these people I criticize and claim I'm different than. I got to do everything that they do, but then still pretend that I'm different than they are. Come on, bro. Be better than that. Now, this is the last thing. My man Rocky Bellinger said it just, whoo. Look, Tim Black literally canceled Tulsi when he believed she didn't support Medicare for all. And here he is, less than a year later, defending AOC for not using her last bit of leverage on Pelosi to vote on it. The mental gymnastics from Johnson is mind-boggling. Man. Rocky dropping heat. Rocky dropping heat. Shout out to Rocky, big fan of the show, big supporter, always sharing our stuff, always dropping fire on both Facebook and Twitter. Can't say how much I appreciate him and how much he supports the show. I think he's a patron member and a Rockfin Premium member. So shout out to Rocky. Bro, y'all have no idea how true this really is. Like, y'all don't. But because I'm a nice guy, I think I'm gonna go ahead and let y'all know how true it is. So, somebody might be wondering, or a lot of people might be wondering, what happened with me and Tim? Because I noticed that the thing that set me up, I was actually, once again, I was going to leave it alone. Then I saw the personal attacks. And then I saw Tim have the nerve to say, hold on, let me see if I got the text message still. Let me see if I got it, or the picture. Let me see if I can find it. He said about Jimmy, because he was criticizing Jimmy for the situation with him and David Sirota. Jimmy said, somebody responded, Jimmy and David sorted out their disagreements already. Would you be willing to do the same? Mind you, it's only Tim who had a disagreement with Jimmy. Jimmy ain't say shit about Tim or to Tim. And Jimmy's disagreements were once again about policy with politicians. Politicians. The ones who work for us. Because remember, Tim was like, oh man, Pelosi's their boss, asking them to quit their jobs. That's what you're doing, really. No, bitch, they work for us. Pelosi's not their boss. The fact that they're treating Pelosi like their boss is Jimmy's entire point. But I digress. Tim responded to that comment about David Sirota by saying, I didn't know that. Someone tweeted this and I thought it was out of line. Jimmy being half-cocked, Jimmy attacking even friends, not good, but of course you don't see it as a trend. Face it, attacking friends is a feature, not a bug with that guy. Man, didn't somebody in the comment section earlier just mention projection? Because we're going to get to that. And yes, I want Medicare for all. That was a tweet. That was a tweet from me. See, what a lot of people don't know about Tim, like I said in the beginning of the show, I had a lot of respect for Tim. Tim, before I became an actual threat to his clout, by, just doing my job and being successful at it, God forbid, Tim showed me a lot of love. Me and Tim have spent years ago as recent as the beginning of 2019. We spent hours and hours and hours on the phone talking about just how difficult it is in this independent journalism, and not only that, but just politics in general, when it comes to being a black man. Because in case somebody mentioned this on Twitter yesterday, and I wish I could remember her name, but shout out to her. She's like, yo, is there any actually good black journalists? Because basically they saw what was happening with Ben Dixon, they saw what was happening with Tim, and was like, bro, is it just Niko and that's it? And I always talk about the fact, if you want to know how well black journalism is doing in the independent left, just look at how many black women are here. There are none, basically. And there's Glory now. Shout out to Glory, and that's literally it. And that took forever. So we've talked for hours about a lot of this stuff. Our families vacation together, people. I got so close with Tim that a personal friend of mine wanted to invest in both of us. Not to any significant degree, but just the Patreon. Hey, do you need anything for emergency? If something happened with any of our equipment, do you need the things that YouTubers like that, YouTube supporters do for their favorite YouTubers? And she was a personal friend of mine. She asked me, you think we could trust him? You think I could trust him? Will he take advantage of me? And my dumb ass told them yes. I told her yes. Tim took advantage of that. He took advantage of that. He used up my friend. And I'm not going to go through all the ways that happened. But like I said, we all vacationed together. She, when I was homeless, looked out for me, made sure that my show didn't suffer, and made sure that I didn't end up back on the street. I had just got an apartment like maybe 2-3 weeks after we met. And she had been watching me that entire time while I was homeless. And that's actually the reason that she ended up reaching out to me to begin with. And so as the months and months and months progress, that's when I introduced her to Tim. And the long story short is, after he used her up over a slight disagreement, he calls her a bitch and cuts her off. Boy, I almost lost it. I almost lost it, y'all. Listen, y'all know, if for my friends out there like that, my real life friends who know me, that was one of my very first tests as I'm a born again Christian. I'm not religious, but I'm saying I try to behave more like an adult now. I don't just go back to my old ways from the Ville, from Vietnam. I try to regress like that. But listen, there were days I wouldn't eat if it wasn't for this woman, because I was trying to do my politics thing. I was trying to, I gave up law school to try and fucking save this corrupt ass system. And I brought her into Tim's life. And I feel like a fucking dumbass, because that's how he repays her. And yeah, and we're going to get into the shit that he did to me personally. But the way he treated her made me more mad than anything he's ever done to me. And I've tried not to let that jade me, from that point forward. But like, obviously that made me a lot more hesitant to introduce anybody, any of my close friends, to anybody in this politics shit. Because it seems like 98% of these motherfuckers are snakes. Even the ones who claim to be your ally. Now, as far as Tim is concerned, the reason I said that is clearly and most likely a jealousy thing and a brand thing with Tim as far as his beef with Jimmy is because I've seen it in real time. Tim is obsessed with his brand. He is. Everybody who knows me, especially, I'm talking about the ride or die, Mikasa Tsukasa, before we even had the MCSC network, and even a little bit after we had the MCSC network. We had 3,000, 4,000, 5,000 subscribers. Because of how Tim would bring me onto his show back in the day, when nobody else would, whenever we were doing the DNC fraud lawsuit, and Tim would actually interview me, because he saw there were journalists out there and pundits out there who were literally like taking credit for my lawsuit and getting famous off the shit, because nobody could ever believe that two prestigious attorneys who have been involved in major lawsuits and have won would ever trust in some young black guy to help them come up with one of the largest lawsuits in history. Nobody ever believed that, so it had to be somebody else. And Tim actually gave me the platform, of course, once again, when I wasn't a threat with the journalism side. But I always and forever always shouted him out on my show. I would always tell people go subscribe to him. I would always give him credit where credit was due. Because I have always paid it forward. Always. So I come to find out that Tim had a problem with me shouting him out like I shouted out. I shout out Jimmy all the time. And I used to shout out just about anybody that I have respect for, because even if I disagree with them, you know what? The independent journalism world and building up that community and that apparatus is more important than my personal disagreements with anybody. Now, of course, over time, as people have noticed, very rarely does anybody shout us out. Very rarely. But me and Fiorella and Pasta, we always shout out other people, because we don't have, like, my success is, I'm not determining my success or our success based off of anybody but us and what we do. And even though you see people kind of like, well, leave them out to dry. We'll see. Well, you know, I know why it is, by the way, but we ain't gonna get into that. I know why it is, but I always shout out to him because I wanted to show him love and respect, especially like that. Like I used to call him my uncle. He used to call me nephew. Like, everybody knows how close we were. We're like family. And because of me shouting him out, he felt that I was actually using his brand to build my own, and that's why I was shouting him out. So he asked me to stop doing it. I'm gonna repeat that. Tim, because I gave him credit almost every single day on my show, I gave him credit where credit was due on a regular basis. He thought that I was using his brand to grow my own by shouting him out. I'm not being hyperbolic. Let me give you another story. So I had what, maybe, so that was before I went to California. So the first time I went on Jimmy Dore's show was I want to say late October of 2018. Right when I had just hit about 8,000 or 9,000 subscribers on YouTube. Relatively unknown. Shout out to Frank, appreciate you, man. Chavi, how does Tim not realize that some watch the Jimmy Dore show because he swears drinks and is doing this in his garage versus wearing a suit on MSM? What a dumb attack. It is a dumb attack. And Franco, appreciate you, man. Appreciate the super chat. Shadows are coming out, bro. They are. We always find our balance out here, man. But anyway, so about late October 2018 when I first went on Jimmy's show. And this is actually, I had always admired Jimmy, but like from a distance at that point, because I had only ever talked to Ron, and Ron had come on my show, and Ron was dope. And Jimmy, I don't know how he found out. It was like random, but he found out that I was the one who started the DNC fraud lawsuit alongside Jared and Elizabeth Lee Beck. And he was like, I never knew. Mind you, Jimmy is someone who has covered the DNC fraud lawsuit top to bottom, front to back, had Jared on, had Liz on, like criticized people who shut it down. And like, so Jimmy had been around because of the what would seem to be a damn near concerted effort to overlook my involvement. And despite the fact that Jared and Liz always shouted me out, always told people, no, like, go interview Niko, go interview Niko, interview Niko, interview Niko. He's my mind. Go interview Niko. So, there's a picture in Jared's book where it literally says, like, it's me and Jared, talking about, like, I think it was literally, we were coming up with the lawsuit. Like, that was one of the pictures, like, where we were literally coming up with the lawsuit. And he even says in the book, it couldn't have been done without Niko. So Jimmy didn't even know this because that seemed to be a concerted effort to not give me credit. But the moment that Jimmy found this out, he was just like so taken aback. He didn't, because Ron used to book his shows back then, and like even on his, like, not just his live shows but his YouTube show. Jimmy DM'd me. Jimmy, like, hey, here's my number. Give me a call. And we talked to him for over 2 hours because he didn't know I was the one who created. So now he was like, okay, I need to find out more about this guy. And that's how we became friends. And he was like, yo, come on the show. I've, got a plane ticket, went out to California the next week. Jimmy had me on. The moment he found out, wow, okay, this guy's the real deal. He's one. And that for me was huge because, and funny, which obviously is not necessarily his fault. I get what people were saying, but they're like, yo, Jimmy has a black guy on. What the fuck? I've never seen this. And like, and I got like 4,000 or 5,000 subscribers from that appearance. But, I got to see like Jimmy's heart at that point because like there's a lot of stuff that people don't know about Jimmy. Like Jimmy can be abrasive at times. Jimmy is a comedian. That's part of his shtick is being abrasive. Jimmy can be overbearing because that's his personality. And, obviously, Steph does a good job kind of bringing him back. Like, calm down, Jimmy. It's okay, man. Your heart, calm down. But there is a much, much softer side and a side of Jimmy that is almost loyal to a fault. And that's the side of Jimmy that I got to see while I was in California. Now, while all of this is going on, I'm actually calling Tim to like tell him like, man, I had such a dope experience with Jimmy. Like, I appreciate, you always giving me an opportunity and like helping me build up to the point where I could finally say what I need to say and have people hear it. Like, I'm texting him, bro, don't respond. Just doesn't respond. I'm like, oh, well, maybe something going on with his phone. Or I got AT&T and AT&T is trash. Okay. So, I mean, at least in the sense of trying to call people and like people would just literally not get your calls. So, okay, cool. I'm like, maybe what it is. So then I found out my friend talked to him. I'm like, that's weird. I've been called him. And then I find out like, oh, he thinks that you don't appreciate him. So why the hell am I calling this man for? Why am I texting him? Why am I shouting him out on my show? What do you mean I don't appreciate him? I don't get it. Once again, anyone who's watched my show or has known me knows I have always given Tim love and respect. And always have given him due credit and always said that he is underrated and have always tried to big him up. Always. And you don't answer my phone after I have like one of the biggest moments of my personal career at the time because you think I don't appreciate you. So a moment that I was excited to share with him, like as a black journalist to another black journalist, as a friend to a friend, as old head to young bull. Like he took that away because he thought I didn't appreciate him, even though I called my friend and my mentor, and then I called him. Those are the first two people I called. I didn't call my mom. I didn't call my brother. I didn't call my best friend. I didn't call Pop. Well, I was staying with Pops and Furel at the time. They live right down the street from Jimmy. I walked to his house from there. But I didn't I called my friend and I called Tim. I called my other people. Then I called Tim again. Then when Tim wouldn't answer the phone, I left a message. And when he wouldn't answer the message, I texted him. Still nothing. Okay. So, you know what? Later on, he explains to me I felt like da-da-da-da, felt like da-da-da-da, felt like da-da-da. Okay, that's weird. I don't get it. But I forgive you, man. Like, we all make mistakes. We all get, we all go to dark places. understood. I forgave him. Didn't take it personal because I understand how that is, especially because a lot of people have stabbed Tim in the back in the past, or at least that's what he claimed had happened. Finding out later on over the last year or so, it seems like it was actually the other way around. And in order for people to not find out the truth, what he does is he exacerbates and hyperbolizes these stories about people so that no one ever asked them what really happened between them. And you find out that Tim had used them too. And before anyone else could find out about it, he would cut them off and then attack their character so that no one would ever go ask that other person, because he had the platform and the clout to do it, like we've seen other people use in the past. He was largely successful at it. So now, beginning in 2019, my career as a journalist was like skyrocketing. In a way that I still kind of like couldn't even believe. Still can't believe. MCSC was skyrocketing. Convo doing their thing. This is around the time we started to get Robbie on the team. I'm finally like getting some financial security because like I just said, not even a year and a half before, I was homeless. Finally, after I had just gotten beat up by some cops. So I was trying to bounce back from that. So I get a call from 2 campaigns. You could probably imagine which 2 those are. I'm not going to say how the conversations went, but I got offered some opportunities by 2 campaigns. One was pretty big. I called Tim thinking, once again, we're all good, because I'm like, wow, this is huge for me. Mind you, so I'm turning 32 on the 27th. I was 29, turning 30 when I got the first call. And then about a week after that is when I got the second call. Ladies and gentlemen, I am very, very blessed to have been in some weirdly crazy situations with some really crazy networks for a 29, 30-year-old at that time that had just graduated college 2 years before. I've been very fortunate, very blessed. And I'm calling Tim to just, once again, I'm excited. You don't want to tell you want to tell your mentors and your old heads when something amazing happens to you. I thought he was going to be excited. He sounded decently excited on the phone, but I could tell there was something off when I was telling him the story. And I'm like, hey, if you need anything on any other campaigns that I can help with, I'll put my name on the line. If you want a job, or if you want an interview or something like that, let me know. Oh yeah, okay, man, that's cool. Congratulations, man. Don't hear from him again. Come to find out, Tim didn't think I deserved those opportunities. Tim thought that that he deserved those opportunities. Couldn't figure out, because he's the one with the blue check mark. He's the one who is older. He's the one who has the 100,000 subscribers or whatever. So it should be him that had those opportunities. He didn't want to say it to me on the phone, but that's what it turned out he thought, because somebody told me. That's why I hadn't heard from him in 3-4 months. Actually, I really didn't talk to him again after that. After that conversation. Because he felt like he deserved opportunities. Now, mind you, and I want to be very clear about this. There was nobody in all of independent journalism, except for Nina's now running for Congress, so she was then in and out. So I guess she doesn't even count anymore. But there's nobody in all of independent journalism that has had more political experience than I have. And that's a that's a fact. That is a fact. Tim want to talk about, Dore being able to drink alcohol on camera is all right because he's all white. No. I have been overlooked because I am black and young, and people are like, there's no way in hell. I did an Instagram post about it. I did a Twitter post about it because people that, you know, for example, I started the largest Bernie Sanders organization in the country in 2016. You want to know how successful my organization was? I became the president of North Carolina colleges for Bernie Sanders in 2016. Want to know how successful that was? I organized the entire community and was in charge of the community organizing for the grassroots in 2016. That was so successful that I was the acting state director, appointed by the campaign, the acting state director of the entire state of North Carolina while I was a senior in college. That's what we did. I was up all night. I would be up all day doing Bernie shit, up all night doing work. From that is where I figured out just how bad the election system was rigged and how they use plants and stuff like that to infiltrate campaigns. And that's how we learned about the DNC fraud lawsuit. To keep a long story short, that's whenever I linked up with Jared and Elizabeth Lee Beck, and we started the DNC fraud lawsuit that went all the way up to the Supreme Court until it was recently dismissed by Clarence Thomas for a legitimate reason, but that's neither here nor there. Now, mind you, just said those two things. Now, Tim, to his credit, was the first interview. He was the first on-camera interview, I should say, that I had. Ed Opperman was my first radio interview. I got passed up a lot, ignored, tossed to the side. People, especially when they found out like that I was getting a radio show on iHeartRadio back in the day, they were like, oh, no. Not only is this guy good at his job and he knows politics, but he's really good at this radio shit too. Therefore, he is a threat. And he lives what he talks. He walks what he talks. He's a threat. And he's black. And so when you talk about black issues, like people begin to go through this cycle in their head of, we got to make sure that dude who actually has experience doesn't get any shine. Because the one thing that all the other stuff is important, but everybody who knows me, I got all that shit and I damn sure believe in accountability. That's like the number one thing. And obviously, if you're a grifter, accountability is a little bit of a problem for you. Because eventually, you know I'm coming. And that's cool. Now, when I got these jobs, obviously when I got offered these positions, obviously, I had to turn a resume. I didn't just like get offered these positions because I didn't know what the hell I was doing or I didn't have a resume. I had a damn resume that Tim damn sure couldn't compare with. If you want to be real about the shit, I had a resume that most people in the progressive movement can't compare with. And it was all grassroots, from the ground up. From nobody knowing me, from nobody giving me shit. Nobody gave me a goddamn thing. I built my organization from 0 to 400 damn near. That was one of them. But Tim felt that I didn't deserve that opportunity. It actually should have been him. Not for any reason, just because it's him. And because I'm not him. So then, fast forward, I come to find out that someone said, well, Tim was on somebody's show and they were talking about black independent journalists, and Tim said that you're not black, which, for obvious reasons, was a bit of a surprise to me. And his logic was, now this is me paraphrasing because I didn't see it, but a lot of people brought it up to me. I was like, are you sure? Tim said that? Because I didn't know he had a problem. Because when I got problems with somebody, I'm a grown ass man. I'll call you. I'll text you. Everybody who knows me knows this. I'll DM you. And if I can't get to you any of those other ways, and then we both got I'll just tag you on Twitter. I don't give a shit. But we're going to get to the bottom of it. See, Tim, acting like a little bitch boy, decided he wanted to go on someone else's show. And when someone tried to like give credit to other black journalists, he was like, and then somebody mentioned like, yo, what about Niko? And then he was like, oh, he's not black. He's like, Mexican or something. Which I'm obviously he meant Latino, but like, I'm not. So there's that. But because my name, I guess my show name is Mikasa Sukasa, which he clearly doesn't get it because my last name is House. Duh. Like, he knows my last name is House and my wife is Mexican, and that's probably why he said Mexican. But Tim knew me well enough to know that my mother is black. She is Bayesian. Okay? I mean, also, I'm black. Also, just because you're Latino doesn't mean you're not black. So there's all those things. But that's not why he said it. He said it because he didn't want any other black journalist getting credit for anything. You can't go anywhere else, bro. Don't send black people anywhere else but the Tim Black Show. So I hear that. Once again, because of our past friendship, I let it slide. I'm like, you know what? Maybe he was joking because like Tim thinks he's a comedian too. And so I was like, maybe he was just telling a joke. So I just let it slide. I won't take it personal, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So then I found out he said something else. And then I found out he started attacking Tulsi. And I was like, I mean, everybody kind of jumped on that wave, but like he trying to join in on that wave late. And the attacks weren't even making any sense. And I'm gonna explain why. See, what people don't know is that Tim was posting. You remember whenever Tulsi went on the rounds, when she went to all the independent journalists that she could go to in Southern California and LA. She went on my show. She went on Kim Iverson's show. Even went on TYT. Convo Couch. She went on, I think, one more. I feel like she went on one more. And Tulsi, because she was trying to make sure that independent journalism was not ignored, and of course she understood how important independent journalism was, said, hey, who else do we need to make sure we go on? Who else? Tim. I said, Tim, of course, 100%. Got to go on Tim Black Show. This is still back in January 2019. I'm like, it would be dope for Tim, for all independent journalists also, but it'd be dope for Tim to have a presidential candidate on his show, especially one like Tulsi. So he showed you a lot of love. This is still in January 2019. So he showed you a lot of love when a lot of people have attacked you. He's coming to your defense. Cool. Because of scheduling issues. I mean, if anybody knew Tulsi's staff, like she didn't have that many people and she was trying to cover a lot of ground with not a lot of resources. Tulsi had to like reschedule the interview, and because it didn't get immediately rescheduled, this is Tim Black, he took it personal. So when they saw that, when he saw that we interviewed Tulsi and then a couple of other people interviewed Tulsi, independent journalists, and he hadn't gotten his interview because he did interview Andrew Yang, but he didn't get his interview with Tulsi in a timely and orderly fashion because Tim has to have everything on his time. All of a sudden, it became, well, fuck Tulsi. Tulsi doesn't support single-payer health care. Tulsi, everything Tulsi does is bad. And if you ever criticize Bernie, blah, 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 blah. Bernie, he was trying to ride the wave because of his brand. So he saw it as an opportunity to give Tulsi her comeuppance for daring to stand up Tim Black. Like she doesn't have better shit to do. And once again, she didn't say she wasn't going to go on his show. That's not what she said. She's like, hey, can we reschedule? I've had to reschedule. Tulsi's had to reschedule it with me multiple times. Because, to be frank, sometimes she got more important shit to do. I know, U.S. Congresswoman who was running for president got more important shit to do than go on me because oh my God, I got to take it personal. No, I don't. Because if they do have to reschedule, they've always been good at communicating that. Cool. Tim did not like that though. So all of a sudden, you notice that everybody was kind of confused, right? They were like, what the hell? Why did Tim go from, because it didn't go from Tim defending Tulsi to Tim like criticizing Tulsi. That's not what we saw. It was Tim went from defending Tulsi to Tulsi is the worst thing to happen to this world since mayo on French fries. That's what he acted like. And for those of you who are trying to connect the dots as to why that happened, now you know. That's why it happened. And then, once again, to add insult to Tim's injury, Tim couldn't believe that Tulsi had the audacity to validate us little folks over here. Because it clearly wasn't, for those of you who don't know, Tulsi's family has actually generally been a show of my show, fans of my show, since like when I had like 5,000 subscribers, which I didn't know until later on. So, but it wasn't the amount of subscribers or my clout. I wasn't popular enough back then. I was only but at that point maybe had 8,000, 9,000 subscribers, had like 8 or 9,000 Twitter followers, maybe, no blue check, no one to speak up for little Niko. So it couldn't have been that. So that means that it could have only been one thing. So Tulsi has a genuine respect for Niko's objective knowledge of politics and his journalism and his integrity. Oh, no. Hell no. You trying to tell me she respects Niko's knowledge on this stuff more than mine? Which she never said that. But this is Tim we're talking about here. Dude is a narcissist. If it wasn't the subscribers and it wasn't the blue check and it wasn't the followers, it couldn't have been my actual political experience. It had to be, oh, you respect Niko more than me, and therefore I now hate you. What made that whole situation even more ironic is the fact that Tim then began attacking. After all this blackity blackity black, Tim began attacking one of the only two candidates that supported reparations. And the only candidate that I know that, Marianne Williamson did. She definitely, I mean, obviously we all have different like ceilings for reparation. Marianne Williamson said she presented her most pragmatic plan. Tulsi supported HR 40, but Tulsi co-sponsored HR 40. However, she reached out to me personally and was like, hey, can you go ahead and let me know the holes in HR 40 so we can go ahead and get those shored up? This is a really important issue to me, and I want to make sure we get this right. I'm not trying to speak for the black community, but I do want to make sure that the black community is fairly represented in this legislation, more or less, to paraphrase. Because she didn't even feel like it went far enough. She had a whole ass answer prepared. Remember her town hall? Remember in that slew of town halls, they asked Cory Booker. He pretended he was for reparations. They asked, obviously Marianne Williamson was for reparations. They pretend like Kamala was for reparations. They pretended Warren's for reparations before she hit that Warren slide. Right foot up, his slide. Y'all know the Warren slide. And when they got to Tulsi, I was really expecting them, because they were trying to picture her as this white supremacist, white nationalist, alt-right, whatever. I just knew, I'm like, they're going to hit her with that reparations, but she good. Trust me, I know she good. They didn't ask her. They didn't ask her to speak on reparations because Tulsi, especially at that point, had the best answer for reparations, and she was going to talk about the fact that HR 40 didn't even go far enough. Now, she's not by any stretch of the imagination an expert on black issues, but I can't tell you how many times her and her staff came to me for black issues and was like, yo, can we get some guidance here? Because she's from Hawaii. There's no black people in Hawaii. She don't know what the hell, like, she knows, but like, there's no black people in Hawaii, bro. I'm sorry, there's just not. And if I never expected her to be an expert on those issues. But what I did expect, which is what I got, was when she isn't an expert on something, if she makes a mistake or a mix up on something, she actually reaches out to the community that does understand these issues so they can represent their own opinions and give her guidance there. And that's what she allowed. And Tim decided to go with the guy instead, which, by the way, didn't even criticize him for the shit. Decided to go with Bernie Sanders. No, I'm not giving them reparations. My plan's better. Where he diverged with Nina on that issue. Where Nina was damn near in tears during her TYT interview discussing the trauma and the last 400 years of what the black community went to, and made it very clear, like, look, obviously I support Senator Sanders. She was his co-chair. She's like, but I disagree with him here, and I really hope he grows on this issue. Now, eventually, Nina did get him to agree to at least vote on reparations if it came across his desk, but that's neither here nor there. My point is, you were going hard on Tulsi when you thought she didn't support Medicare for all, single payer healthcare specifically, and you just skirted past this old white guy once again trying to tell the community what's best for them. But Mr. Black, oh, everything's gotta be black. Gotta love black people. Gotta go hard for black people. Now, and I'm gonna say this one thing, and I'm gonna get to these super chats, and I'm gonna take some more questions. What makes the Medicare for All conversation even funny, if y'all want to know that it's about clout and was about his personal beef with Tulsi and me. And then, of course, I think that I feel like Tulsi was sometimes unjustifiably smeared by people like Tim because people couldn't stand the fact that I was actually, because I wasn't, by the way, it wasn't just Tulsi's campaign we were close to, where we had inroads with. It wasn't just her campaign. He knew that too. And people just, once again, cannot believe that we had the audacity to be on the ground and that people had respect for us for the work that we've done. Couldn't believe it. But specifically on the Medicare for All topic, he immediately began to smear Tulsi. Now, once again, this is just one of those things. Out of everybody in the journalism community, out of everybody in the independent journalism community on YouTube, I'm the only one here who actually has done two things. Worked in healthcare and drafted or helped to draft healthcare policy. The only one. And I am also the only one who did both of those things and was a surrogate for a presidential campaign at that point. That campaign just so happened to be Tulsi. And he also knew that he knew that stuff about me. He also knew I was a surrogate for the campaign. And Tulsi gave me permission to speak on her upcoming legislation because, to be frank, Tulsi, because of her lack of experience on that particular issue as far as the intricacies of healthcare, what those words mean when she says those words, like, you got to be careful. And of course, the combination of like just how people set up rhetorical traps for you and then her accidentally walking into them, because like we know how inflammatory some words seem to the ear when it comes to progressives and how they'll latch onto that one thing like choice, right? Choice, I can't believe you're saying that. And they believed at that point that Bernie was not going to have any private insurance. And then what happened? We later found out, that's just kidding. That wasn't the case. He did have private insurance in his. And I had said that and I was attacked for it. But I was attacked for it not because Tulsi was wrong, but because they wanted to make sure that everybody felt like Bernie was actually the one who was right, so they can continue to build off that clout. Now, Tim, who's supposed to be different, right? Because this is supposed to be my friend. This is right? This is the person who I wrote out for the last 3 years, harder than anybody else. Yeah, Tim didn't give me no call. Everybody had all these opinions on healthcare. Everybody. I was the only one who worked in healthcare. I was a surrogate for her campaign specifically. He knew that Tulsi gave me permission to go and clarify her comments and explain to people the difference in healthcare and the flaws and because there was no one else who could, to this day, no one else can actually explain the difference between Jayapal's bill, the Senate bill, which is worse than Jayapal's bill, although it was introduced after Jayapal's bill was introduced, and Tulsi's single payer plus plan, and the issues she took with both of those bills. Not a lot of them. She took an issue with the fact that you could unenroll. People didn't know that doctors and clinics and even hospitals could unenroll out of the Medicare network if they did not like it. That was in like the little fine print at the bottom that people would overlook if you didn't work in healthcare. But that was one of the first things I thought about, because they say, well, yeah, everybody's going to be, but if you unenroll, then you could offer whatever private health insurance you wanted to. And of course, if the system got strained without taking care of things like, I don't know, nursing shortages, which Medicare for All didn't do, but single payer did. Doctor shortages, which Medicare for All didn't fix, but single payer plus did. Like, we actually had a plan that was going to include paying for immigrants' law schools, right? So if you wanted to migrate, you wanted to get a work visa and eventually become a citizen, we pay for your medical school. All you had to do is practice medicine here for 6 years. So, and we did, it was going to be for nurses and for doctors, and of course, especially for specialists. So simultaneously, we were addressing the immigration issue, the college issue, the doctor shortages issue, and the nursing issue, all issues that had never once been even discussed in Medicare for All. Do you know how I knew to make sure that we included that in her policy? Because I worked in fucking healthcare and Tim knew that, and yet he wanted to go ahead and pander and pretend as if he didn't. Because the only reason that I would ever be defending a single payer plus legislation is because Tulsi. Not because I actually know what the hell I'm talking about. Tulsi's plan did not allow you to opt out of the Medicare system. Everybody had to pay into it. Everybody had to pay into it. Even if you had supplementary insurance, in which, by the way, that wasn't Bernie's bill. Bernie's bill is going to still allow supplementary insurance, which, by the way, is still really necessary under that plan because there's just a bunch of different stuff that people don't think about. But that was going to be private owned anyway. Even if you wanted supplementary insurance under Tulsi's plan, she was going to make it so that there was no such thing as a private health insurance company. Only nonprofit. That part didn't get discussed. Now, once again, a lot of you are probably hearing this stuff for the first time because everyone, including Tim, were so hell-bent on one, making sure Tulsi never got a leg up on Bernie in any aspect, because the last thing that Bernie had on Tulsi was literally just healthcare. Foreign policy, not even close. Civil liberties, not even close. Assange, whistleblowers, not even close. Even the willingness to go up on independent journalism, on independent journalist shows and take the tough questions, because I guarantee you to this day we gave Tulsi her hardest interview. We're the only ones who even asked her about her previous CFR affiliation. We gave her her hardest interview. They didn't want her to, that was it. That's all he had left was healthcare. And they were finding out slowly that shit, maybe he doesn't even have that. Let's smear her and attack anyone who actually understands healthcare and supports her as just being toll cells. So we don't have to listen to anything that they have to say, and we can keep pretending that Bernie's actually better on healthcare than Tulsi is. And let's give her, just smear her in bad faith. Let's focus on that word choice. Say she's like Buttigieg, and despite the fact that none of us know anything about healthcare. And Tim, once again, a person I used to call fam, jumped on that smear train because of his personal grievances with Tulsi and because of his personal grievances with me. And so when people try and pretend that Tim is principled, think about all this shit that I have literally not said at all, because I told to some personal people or even smaller channels where I knew it wouldn't get out like that. But I've never delved into the details, only out of respect for our past friendship and his family, who I still love. His family is dope. But I want to be very fucking clear about something. Tim is projecting. Jimmy, when he went to DC for his live show, Jimmy invited Tim. They had a picture together and everything. Tim was on Jimmy's live show. Like back in the day, God, seems like so long ago. But back in the day when people used to be able to go on live shows and have audiences, Jimmy invited Tim, not even a year before. I want to say it was in months before Tim started attacking Jimmy in 2019. Jimmy, when he was in Miami, invited me on his show. I unfortunately was in LA at the time. I won't say unfortunately. I was in LA at the time covering the primary and the election rigging that was going on over there. But Jimmy got down here. Hey man, you want to come on? Are you here? You want to come on the show? Like even before that had got me tickets. Jimmy has always gotten me free tickets. Every time he goes in the city, if he knows of you, I've seen him invite bigger channels on and smaller ones. I'm not saying Jimmy's perfect, but Jimmy does have this weird, that he is up to the point where, to a fault, he is loyal at times. Tim has been everything but. Jimmy has shown me more respect as a black journalist and as a journalist in general in the last year and a half that I've known him than Tim has shown me. Because now I figured out, it was cool whenever you could little bro me and you thought I would never become successful, especially given how YouTube, rigs algorithms. But then when you find out that I'm actually might be a problem for you, it's nope. Got to make sure that dude don't ever get successful. And him and Ben Dixon used to hate each other. But then, as y'all know, around the time Tim started selling out a little self, and then all of a sudden him and Ben were cool again, right? Because we got to get behind Bernie. Because even Tim's support for Bernie, and Ben's as well, as everybody should know by now. But Tim's support for Bernie was not actually based in him thinking Bernie was a better candidate. He actually, for the most part, from our conversation, he thought Tulsi was a better candidate. But he held so much personal animosity towards Tulsi for rescheduling an interview. And personal animosity towards her just for being associated with me. Like, how dare you? How dare you be associated with Niko? How dare you go to Niko for anything? That he began these disjointed smear tactics, and a lot of people, especially back then, were like, bro, what? Whoa, where did this even come from? Now you know where it came from. Didn't make any sense. Let me go ahead and get some of these super chats. Appreciate your patience. I just didn't want to get off topic. I know I got ADHD like a motherfucker, bro. Y'all know I can't. Who we got? Like this video, share this video. Appreciate you guys. Michael Williams, Dr. Claude Anderson for the reparation stuff. Powernomics B1. Powernomics B1. I'm gonna check that out. Bethlehem, thank you very, very much for the super chat. Hope you're doing well, homie. Sorry about those lockdowns that y'all about to be on again over there in California, man. That man Gavin Newsom is tripping. Gavin Newsom ain't on lockdown though. Emblem Fate. You're born on Xmas too? No, I was born on the 27th. Look at us, smart black gifts to the world. Thought it was just me. No, I was born on 27th. I think I was supposed to be born on Christmas or something like that. My mom told me. But I was being stubborn. I didn't want to come out. I was probably trying my hardest to make sure that I did not have to be one of those babies who got Christmas presents and birthday presents at the same time. Unfortunately, that was an epic failure because I still, at 30 something years old, get Christmas presents and birthday presents at the same time. I think I'm missing somebody's super chat. Can one of my moderators, if I missed the super chat, can one of my moderators put that in the like copy and paste it so I can see it? But there you go. Jim, ADHD equals a high IQ. I don't like saying a high IQ because like IQ is like the worst way to measure a person's intelligence. However, ADHD does generally mean you have a much higher social intelligence, much higher emotional intelligence. You have high, what's the word? It's phonemic awareness. So it's like people with ADHD have a problem cutting people off because they can predict what someone's going to say before they say it, and they already have a response to it. Because really, you just go like everybody. The reason that we kind of like learn languages and like it's easier to teach a baby a language than it is to teach an adult a language because we really only use so many words, right? At the end of the day, we only really use so many words, and it's always specific towards situations. And so you go through a encyclopedia of possibilities when you have ADHD, when you're engaging with somebody, but you go through it really fast all the time without you knowing it. And so they have a test for it. I got a 6-hour test whenever I got tested for ADHD. It was 6 hours. And Mitch, you're the one I missed. Mitch Osborne, thank you very much for the super chat. And if you want to write your other question, I would love to address that one too. Thank you very much. Election integrity push, not even close. Tulsi actually had legislation. Bernie didn't even do shit about Iowa. You're correct. And Tim used to be really good on election integrity. Didn't even want to cover her legislation. I mean, actually, on climate change too, Tulsi was better. Tulsi was the best Congress member like in history on climate change. Bernie never even introduced legislation on climate change. Tulsi literally the most endorsed piece of legislation. People don't even remember that AOC, Ilhan Omar, the whole squad, Tim Canova, Paula Jean the first time she ran, Cori Bush the first time she ran, all those people ran on passing Tulsi Gabbard's off back. People forget that because that's how good it was. Yeah, Abby attacked Tulsi on the Michael Brooks show. That seemed, I'm not gonna get into that because that's like, it's similar to what you saw from other progressives. It was a mixture of, no, not a mixture. It was just like a jealousy thing. I think also because of her being Tulsi's contemporary. Like her and Tulsi are close to the same age. And for a lot of people in general, especially like minorities and like marginalized people, it's hard for them to fathom them looking at a woman their same age and being like, that's going to be the first president, the first female president, or could have been the first female president, could have been the first woman of color, could have been the first president that wasn't of a Christian faith, like even Catholic, could have been the first president who was still in the military. Obviously, she would have gotten a promotion, to commander in chief. Skipped a couple of titles, but and then you got to remember that she sacrificed everything and then still could have ended up there. Like, whereas most people, like most minorities, most women, most black people, like you got to sacrifice you feel like you have to sacrifice bits of your integrity to get anywhere. Because you see how Cory Booker moves. You see how Kamala moves. You see how Obama moves. And you got to usually, to get to the point of notoriety that Tulsi has, you got to sell out. But Tulsi kind of like rose from the ashes and could have, went down in history. And a lot of people saw that and it's like, I don't got a problem with blindly and uncritically worshiping this old white guy because he reminds me of my grandpa, and like even Elizabeth Warren, that reminds them of their mother or their grandma, right? Tulsi is my age and she's done a lot more amount than, MMA fighter, surfer, capoeira, like she does capoeira, like literally chilling in the ring with UFC champions after she's the one who helped that UFC champion get a visa not even a couple of weeks before that. Like the woman picks up, y'all don't even know, bro, for her birthday, do y'all know what her volunteers did? Went and picked up trash in the parking on the beach. She went to Skid Row to talk to the homeless people to figure out exactly how they got there. On her birthday, this is her birthday, people. Went to the Bruised and Battered women's shelter in LA. No one really knew about it unless you were part of the campaign because she didn't want anybody to know she went. There was no cameras allowed. She did not want anybody talking about it. So that's the type of person, the type of integrity she displayed. Her mistakes notwithstanding, of course. That's a threat to people who really are not ideologically consistent, who really have their ambitions first. And they've been very, 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 very good at convincing people otherwise. Now, not to say that these people have nothing to offer. Don't get it. Like Abby has done a lot of great work and she don't like me no more. That's fine. I don't really care all that much. I really don't. She's done great work. I would never take that away from her. But like the problem is somebody like me, I give you credit what credit's due, but I'm also going to tell you about yourself. You can like me or not like me, but it is what it is. Tim, unfortunately, like I said, when I saw a lot of people smear Tulsi, smear me, smear Fee, smear Sophia back in the day, y'all, and some of the MCSC road dogs remember Sophia. That used to make me mad. That used to piss me off. But what happened with Tim after, once again, Jimmy has always showed Tim love. Jimmy had brought Tim on tour multiple times. If I recall correctly, don't quote me on that. But I know at least once he brought him on his show, live show. And at least a couple of times Tim has gone on Jimmy's show. Jimmy has showed love obviously to me, Fiorella, Pasta, brought on people from smaller channels, brought on obviously people from a lot bigger channels. Jimmy tries. He's not perfect. He tries and he fights. And he before COVID was on the ground. And of course, just with me and Tim personally, bro, I fought for you, motherfucker. Like I spoke up and defended you. I spent hours of my valuable goddamn time talking on the phone with you when you were going through shit. And to see how you treat the people, multiple people, including my friends that I brought into your life, to see how the contempt you treat them with, I'm not mad about that shit, bro. I'm disappointed. I'm disappointed. I remember I used to joke about the fact that I'm having a wedding. Obviously, I'm gonna have a wedding, like a bigger wedding, because COVID was crazy. And I used to joke about it, like can't wait to take pictures with Tim and the fam at my wedding, because that's how close we were. And now, bro, I can't let snakes in my grass. Keep my grass cut. You ain't about to bite me like you bit everybody else. And to see you standing for politicians and clout rather than standing up for people, it's sad, man. It's disappointing. Because you already had everybody's respect. Why go after Jimmy? You had respect that you weren't even due. Like, let's be clear about that shit. You had respect that weren't even due, because a lot of people, out of respect for you, have kind of sidestepped a lot of the fuck shit you've been up to. And you know that. Let's be real. But because they're like, I don't want to smear Tim, because Tim has been a good friend to people who have clout, a lot of people who got screwed over by Tim, who didn't have the platform to defend themselves or bring it to anyone else's attention, a lot of those people have their concerns have always gone unnoticed. Noe Saldana. Is that supposed to be a play on Zoe Saldana's name? Thank you for the super chat. Bernie bent the knee to the establishment. I got so much crap for voting Green Party and not Biden. People are very misinformed. Stay safe, brother. I'll say this. I mean, shout out to not voting for Biden. But Howie Hawkins cheated for that nomination, so I didn't vote for Green. But I feel what you're saying, though. Howie Hawkins cheated. Shout out to Dario Hunter. That is who should have been the Green Party nominee. And the Green Party, it would have looked a lot different by the end of the race. Just the amount of success on the ground, the raw numbers. Like, Jill Stein broke all those records for third party fundraising and registration and stuff like that. Like, if Dario would have been the nominee this time around, instead of Howie, who cheated to get his nomination, would have been a problem. So, with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, thank you all so much for tuning into that live stream segment, Mikasa Sukasa. Shout out to everybody who stuck around for all that. Like I said, if you just came late, thank you very much for that super chat, Noe Saldana. But if you came late, all the actual information, between Jimmy and Tim is in the beginning of the show, so you can go back and check that out. Make sure you subscribe before you leave, people. Make sure you subscribe. Consider subscribing to us on Rockfin as well. You know what tomorrow is? Tomorrow's Thursday, baby. It's Rockfin Premium Day. We're gonna have a hell of a show for y'all, and have a very special interview on Friday and Saturday. We got two very special interviews for you. And both of those are going to be available on Rockfin as well. But tomorrow is our Rockfin Premium Day for our Rockfin Premium subscribers. If you want to become a Rockfin Premium subscriber, all you have to do is click on that little QR code right there. Go ahead, click on that, or you just put your phone camera on that. Or you can click on the Linktree link in the description below. It's literally $9.99 a month. And Rockfin treats their creators like damn gold. They love us. I'm on Rockfin, obviously. Convo Couch is on Rockfin too. Jimmy Dore is on Rockfin too. Richie Medhurst is on Rockfin too. Harlan's Media, shout out to Kit and the fam. They're on Rockfin too. Kim Iverson's on Rockfin too. Ron Pacone's on Rockfin too. Graham Elwood's on Rockfin too. Who else is on Rockfin? I feel like I'm missing somebody. Jason Burmis is on Rockfin. Whitney Webb's on Rockfin. Steve and the Slow News Day crew's on Rockfin. Action for Assange is on Rockfin. I don't think I'm missing anybody else. I probably am, but the list is so long, it is getting so long. And I told people back in the day, because Rockfin not only is a video platform, but it is also a crypto platform that has a token called the Ray token. It's on the Ethereum network. And people who trade, I say, y'all, this token 17 cent, y'all better buy some of this stuff, because I'm telling you, look at the journalists who are on it, and then Jimmy joins, and then Kim joins. And then you get a few other big channels that join. Guess what the Ray token is right now? I don't know what it is at this very, very moment, but this morning, bro, that Ray token was $1.40. It went from 17 cents to $1.40. So people who bought that, what's that 600% profit or something like that? Whatever they purchased, when they purchased it at 17 cents or 20 cents or whatever. Bruh. and they take care of their people. So if you become a premium subscriber to one channel on Rockfin, my channel, Convo, whoever, you get everyone's premium content on Rockfin. Everyone's premium content, not just mine. So just something to consider. And like I said, Rockfin absolutely treats us better. They also have super chatting on Rockfin now and tipping on Rockfin. So the goal is hopefully Rockfin begins to beat them out. And the owner or the founder of Rockfin actually already had success on the sports side because he created an app or a platform called Flow Sports that ended up competing with ESPN Plus's app. And it was so successful that ESPN Plus started hemorrhaging subscribers because of how good this man is. Like he curates his creators and their content well. And he's so creator focused that creators like just want the platform to be successful. And we work together. So go check that out. We just hit 10,000 followers on Rockfin too. So Donnie Nunn, thank you very much for the super chat. Some encouraging news from New York. New driver cooperative rideshare app developer to counter Uber monopoly, which will be on. Oh, so they have a co-op. So it's a worker-owned co-op. That's dope. That is. Oh man, you're gonna see problems from that. Oh man, you love it. You gotta love it, bro. Bethlehem, thank you very much for the super chat. I've stopped following people like Tim and Jordan a while back after you exposed them. Beth, you always on the right side though. You be knowing, you be peeping. So you got that African blood, and you know you Ethiopians, they clairvoyant and shit. So they straight from the motherland. They the originals. So appreciate you guys. I don't know why I thought somebody said something about LeBron on my. Well, I was about to be like, what? Don't be bringing up LeBron on my thing. Boy, we team Giannis over here. Shout out to Giannis. Sign that $228 million. All right, people. Make sure you subscribe. Make sure you like. Make sure you share. But always remember, more than anything else, find your balance. Peace. If you like that segment of Mikasa Sukasa, don't forget to like the video and smash that subscribe button. Want access to members only live streams, behind the scenes footage, and other premium content? Well, you can endorse us on Rockfin Premium, become a patron through Patreon, or you can sign up for the MCSC Premium membership through YouTube. All the links are in the description below. But hey, more than anything else, always remember,
find your balance.
Find your balance.
Find your balance.
Find your balance. Find your balance.
Find your balance. Find your balance.
Always remember, more than anything else, find your balance.
peace.